Hello again everyone, this is Age of June and we are back casting another League of Legends game. As I'm sure you're noticing from this screen, no diamonds, no platinums, no nothing. This particular game is actually a normal of one of the people on my friends list because Riot has still not deemed fit to get rid of the stupid Season 3 is here page on the PvP net, so I can't access any featured games at the moment. That's also why I waited until now to go ahead and cast a game. I was trying to wait so that they would actually, allow featured games again. But unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case quite yet. So I went ahead and just picked a person on my friends list at random who had less than 3 minutes. In this case, it was actually 1 minute, so I had to wait. And we'll be able to see the whole thing. And went ahead and decided to cast that because I wanted to cast a game, and I haven't been able to do that. So in this game, it looks like we do get to see a Thresh. This will be my first Thresh game. I haven't seen him before in actual spectated game, but I have seen him on streams and stuff. He looks really fun, and I do intend to buy him as soon as I can. This is actually the friend that I am spectating. Don't know this person in real life. It's just somebody I met during my leveling days. This person's actually a silver player in this season, silver 1. So it's definitely not a high-ranked game, and even if it was ranked, it wouldn't be very high. But that's about all I have on my friends list at the moment, as I myself am silver. So I really wish there was a way for me to easily find games to cast like that, but at the moment there's not. So it looks like the blue team's actually invading up here. They're going to go ahead and probably try to take this red. They might be trying to go for the top laner for the purple team, who is down here at blue. So there will be no killing there, but they might end up getting the red buff anyway, and they may end up camping out here for the enemy team to come. So it looks like Akali's probably going to be mid. My guess would be versus Rise. We're going to have Vayne versus Misfortune bottom. Blitzcrank versus Thresh bottom. Ezreal... oh. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this anymore. Okay, well, we'll have to see. We do know that, based on the summoner spells, Lee Sin is jungling, and Nocturne is jungling. So these two are going to be against each other. Jace, my guess is, yeah, Jace is going to be against Ezreal top. So we actually have an AD ranged carry top as opposed to a bruiser. I have seen it work before. I actually saw Hotshot GG do it once, which was pretty cool to watch, and he did end up shutting down the enemy, but again, that is Hotshot GG, and he's definitely a pro player. So, there we go. We have Jace and Ezreal, as I was saying at the end there. So that should be an interesting thing. Looks like Thresh already hitting Caitlyn with his little grab there. That thing's actually pretty cool, and he's got good range. See that just right there? Got her down pretty low. She does have health pots, and she really needs to pop them. There we go. She is popping them now. So Thresh is a pretty aggressive carry, and to me, he seems to be pretty enjoyable to play. I'm guessing. I don't know yet until I do play him. I'm getting close to being able to play him, but I'm not quite there yet. So we'll have to see. Now mid, Akali versus Rise. Looks like they're fairly even at the moment. Not really doing too much. Doing a little harass. Rise is getting her with his spells a little, and she's just harassing him back a little. Nocturne is down at getting red. Oh, there is a first blood up top. Did not notice there was a gank going on up there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Lee Sin came in through the river. Came in. The Ezreal got pretty low on Jace, but Jace was kind of baited by the Ezreal. Ezreal is ignited. I don't think he's going to go down. He does not go down. It's really close, though. He almost died. So that was a good gank by Lee Sin. Lee Sin does end up getting the kill, so it's not as good for Ezreal as it could have been, but honestly, even with the fact that he didn't get the kill, he's still getting XP, he's still getting CS. By the time Jace comes back, he's going to be pretty far ahead. And as you can see here, he is actually pushing to some extent. He's not pushing like crazy, so I don't think... actually, he may be pushing fast enough that the minions will be under the tower. Yeah, they will be under the tower, but Jace is not going to miss any XP. He may end up missing CS, especially at this level, because it's, well, he missed one. So, at this level, you're going to find that people find it very difficult to CS under the tower. So a lot of times if you can push it under the tower when you are safe, make sure that you're safe though. It's a good idea to do that, you know, after a gank, etc. Because even if they do get the XP, a lot of times they'll miss out on the CS. So let's go ahead and take a look down mid here. There's another gank by Lee Sin. A little bit farther. There we go. Okay, so Rise is about a bit above half health. Akali is slightly above him. He goes in on it. He does end up landing his bind, but there's Lee Sin to come to save the day. Rise does take down the Akali with his Ignite, but Lee Sin says, nope, you're dead. So down goes the Rise. The red buff actually killed him there. So that was a good gank, and it ended up being a 1-for-1 instead of a 1-for-0. And there was an assist and a kill for the purple team, whereas it was only a kill for the blue team. So all in all, purple team definitely came out of that one ahead. Down bottom, it looks like the Misfortune has mostly healed herself back up. She has used both of her health pots. If you notice, Vayne actually started double Dorans though, so she's not having all that much trouble anyway. The Thresh actually grabbed Blitzcrank there, which is not the best idea. A lot of times you want to make sure to grab the AD carry, because the AD carry's grabbed, he can't attack back. So Thresh is actually going in. There's the pop-up, and Misfortune is low. In comes Lee Sin to take her down. Now Vayne is actually getting really low, but they came in for the rescue. Vayne does go down. Purple cast your minions OP. Down she goes. So good save there by the Lee Sin. Unfortunately, it was not quite enough. Now Nocturne's coming in to gank back. Blitzcrank is probably going to try to land a pull. He does land the pull. Lee Sin is pulled out, but Thresh and his Lantern just saved that Lee Sin like crazy. Very nice Lantern by him. A lot of times, people apparently forget to click the Lantern. Especially now, I mean, he's a new champion, so that's going to happen. People don't really realize exactly how he works, so they don't click the Lantern, and they die. Hopefully they don't blame the support. I don't know. I'll have to see later when I actually get the champion. But it's definitely something you want to make sure that if you do have a Thresh in your team, make sure to click the Lantern if he's trying to save you, because if you don't, he's not going to be happy and you're going to end up dying for no reason. So alright, up here top we've got Ezreal and Jace. Jace is having to be pretty careful now. Ezreal is 5 versus Jace is 5. Let's look at the XP here. Ezreal and Jace are pretty much at the same spot, so he actually didn't get any behind in XP, but there is that assist there, so Jace is somewhat behind. Now Lee Sin came in for another gank. They're going in on him, and he goes down. This time, Ezreal gets the kill, and this time there is a lot of XP up here that's going to be lost, because he's got a respawn timer of 15 seconds. By the time he respawns and gets up here, a lot of this is going to be dead, so definitely not a very good time for Jace. Bot lane, looks like Thresh just tried to capture Misfortune that time. Oh, Lee Sin's actually counter jungling here. Nocturne does see him, so he knows it's there, so he's going in. He does end up fearing him, gets the fear off, spell shields the Q. Oh, he didn't spell shield the Q. He hadn't used Q yet. There's the kick from Lee Sin. Nocturne could just turn around and get that wolf. There we go. He got the wolf. So he got the big wolf, so honestly, that didn't end up being that big of a loss for Nocturne, and now Lee Sin is on the run. He's going to escape with no problem, and Ezreal was coming to help him if need be. But all in all, it didn't really matter. Like I said, Nocturne did get his big wolf. If you're counter jungling, be sure to take the big wolf first, if at all possible, because that one has pretty much all the gold and XP. So make sure to take that if possible. In this case, I think it might have been slightly too late. There's a Blitzcrank grab there. Missed slightly. Oh, there's the shield. Now it looks like Blitzcrank says, fine, I'll just pop you up. Unfortunately, Misfortune wasn't quite able to do too much, and now Blitzcrank just got stuck against the wall. Now he's chained by the Thresh, so down goes the Blitzcrank, but the kill does go to Thresh. So Vayne's probably not very happy, but that did end up killing one of them, and now it's 2 versus 1. So Misfortune, yes, Misfortune is going to have to be pretty careful here, because she does not want to die to that. You can see here, this is quite a bit of XP. She's going to get most of the XP, but she did miss a couple CS. All in all, not that big of a loss. Rise was trying to make it a big loss by pushing to the tower before he goes back. She did actually miss quite a bit of CS there. She didn't attack that guy when she could have. That's something you see a lot at this level. Oh, in comes another gank. Let's take a look at that. That you see people missing out on CS and not really knowing how to CS under tower. So there Lee Sin came in through the jungle. There is no ward here, so Jace didn't know. It's one thing, again, you want to know. Put wards here. Put wards in the river if you're top. I know it's 75 gold, but at the same time, it's only 75 gold, and you are saving yourself a lot more because you're not going to miss out on the XP. You're not going to miss out on the CS. There's no real reason not to ward besides simple bad math skills, honestly. It may seem like it's necessary to not ward. Ooh, here goes the ulti just to take down all those guys. Whee! Yeah, just hit them. Oh, it does end up hitting the Nocturne too. That was pretty funny. So, alright, so Blitzcrank is actually here. This is warded though, so she knew he was there. He does land the pull on her, but in comes the Nocturne. She's probably going to die. She does die from this. She went down fast, and now Thresh is trying to get out. He's going to escape with pretty much no problem. He tried to land his Q, or I think it's his Q, right? His bind. Yes. Death sentence. That's his Q. Okay, so yeah, he tried to land his Q and pull somebody to him, but he did end up missing it. So he did not pull anyone into tower range. Now Jace does have a ward here, so no more will Lee Sin be able to gank through the river. He also has it right here, so it's covering this entrance as well. So the only place that Lee Sin can safely gank is through here or through a lane gank, which leaves Jace pretty well protected because he can't come up behind him unless he invades through here, and then he's going to be taking tower shots. So it is a possibility he could still whip around behind him and gank him that way, but it's much more unlikely. Now Jace is actually going in on the Ezreal. There's the slow on Ezreal. Ignite. Ezreal does EOA. He is still ignited, and Jace is trying to take him down. There's nobody up here to help, so Ezreal is in a pretty bad shape here. It's going to be very difficult for him to escape. His E is coming up soon, so he's going to try to do his best to get out of there. There's his E. In comes the Nocturne, though, so now Ezreal is stuck. He is going to go down to this. The kill only goes to Nocturne, though. It did not end up getting an assist or a kill for Jace. So unfortunately, he had hit farther enough back that it did not get him anything. Let's look at this. Looks like there was another gank down here. So we've got Blitzcrank here in the bush. Misfortune is staying back. Lee Sin's coming in through the river. There is a ward here to pick him up. There's also a ward here, so they know there's the death of the Ezreal. And now Misfortune and Blitz are there. Blitz lands the pull on Vayne, and in comes the Lee Sin anyway. Blitzcrank does go down, but Lee Sin also goes down for that. He did kick him out, but unfortunately he was still in tower range, and Misfortune's ult just took him down. So nicely played. Unfortunately, it was a gank that resulted in a kill for the enemy team. If Misfortune misplays this, which I think she actually just did, yeah, she's going to go down now. It's very unlikely that she's going to live. She might end up getting a kill for it. She does get a kill for it, though, because Thresh stayed under tower just a little bit too late. Well, that's a cool death animation. I like that. Nice. And as you can see here, again, this is a lot of experience that's just going to the tower, which is very painful. Jace is actually going to try to take down this tower. I think he might end up getting it before Ezreal can get here. And even if he doesn't get it before Ezreal can get here, he could just stay at it because... Oh, there we go. Yeah. I think he's going to get it. The minions aren't going at the tower, though, so it's going to sit there at 10 health. One auto attack would have finished it, but he was kind of too scared of Ezreal to stick around and do it. So now he's falling back to the minions. This is an interesting thing. Oh, because his ward's gone, I guess he's paranoid of Lee Sin coming to gank him. So he's being very cautious. I can't say I blame him. He's currently at 3 deaths, which is very painful, and no kills or assists. So he's quite far behind. He's at 57 CS versus 56. So he's actually not behind in CS, which means that Ezreal has not quite been managing CS as he should. Yeah. He's probably... I didn't notice what he was on the loading screen there, but he's probably not exactly very high, which I myself am not, and I am weak on CS as well to some extent. I am getting better, but, you know, I'm still not perfect. That's also why I don't play AD carry. I'm actually better at Bruiser CS because it's easier to trade for some reason for me. That and my positioning is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Akali just went in on Nocturne. She did Shroud, but she did get feared as well, so she's not going to get that Nocturne. Misfortune just got killed by Vayne, so let's take a look at that. Alright, looks like Lee Sin is actually coming up from behind. So this ward is picking them up now. And now the blue team says, oh crap, we are in trouble. So they should be falling back, but they aren't. So maybe they didn't notice? I'm not sure. But in comes the Lee Sin. He does slow the enemy team. He gets popped up by the Blitz, and he's just hitting that misfortune. In comes the Vayne. She's getting pretty low. There's the pull on Lee Sin by Blitzcrank, but unfortunately for him, it was not quite enough. In comes the Rise to help out, though. So he's going in. He's trying to take down the Lee Sin. Lee Sin is able to escape with no problem. Thresh just got ignited, so he's getting pretty low there. Looks like he actually might... Oh, wow. Rise unfortunately flashed into just the wrong space. So that ended up being 3 deaths. Oh, in comes the Nocturne. So he's going to try to do it too. But he just got punted back by Vayne, and he goes down as well. So that was a 4 for nothing. That Thresh was just too tempting of a target. But unfortunately for the enemy, they just weren't quite good enough to pull it off. Well, it's not so much that they weren't good enough. It's just that the enemy team was able to quickly react to that. So if you notice, when Rise flashed there, immediately Thresh actually ultied, which put Rise directly in his box. The box. And actually resulted in the kill for the purple team. So we just saw Ezreal kill Jace up here. I'd like to see exactly what happened there. There's the many kills down bottom. The blue team's definitely not having a good time right now. They are probably very unhappy. In goes the Ezreal. He just says, fine, I'm just going to take you out. Jace was low enough. I don't believe he had no, he didn't have any health potions, so he was not able to heal up, so Ezreal was able to just take him out with one little round of attacks, and now that is yet farther that Jace will be falling behind. Jace is currently 9 versus Ezreal's 10, but the gap is rapidly widening with every Ezreal kill. And as Ezreal, oh actually, Ezreal's actually going AP Ez, so he's not going to be doing a ton of AD damage later, but he will be doing a lot of AP damage. Looks like Lee Sin actually almost died there, but he was able to jump to his ally and escape. Akali's now going in on Misfortune. Blitzcrank just missed his pull. Akali just flashed into her Shroud. Lee Sin comes in to help. There's the Blitzcrank ulti to silence, so Akali is going to go down. So there was a double kill for Rise. Rise is very happy now because that double kill's kind of nice. He's now at 3 kills, 2 assists. He's actually doing fairly well for the blue team. Nocturne as well is doing fairly well, but the purple team is still definitely ahead on kills and assists. So blue team needs to be careful. There goes the turret for the blue team. That is the first turret of the game. So that's going to help quite a bit. That global gold, definitely a nice thing to have. There's the Ezreal ulti, getting rid of some of these minions, but not nearly enough. But unfortunately the Rise was slightly too far ahead, so he actually took a couple tower shots there. Nothing to capitalize on it, so he's going to escape with no problem. But had anybody been there, he would have been in a decent amount of trouble. Ooh, there's the pull from both Blitzcrank and Thresh. That was pretty amusing. They just kind of, one slid forward a little, and the other one shot way forward. So there was the Lantern to go ahead and protect. That's actually pretty nice. That shield, I like that. And it has the dual functionality of yanking your ally towards you. In they go. Nocturne came in for the gank. Thresh is feared. Thresh is going to go down. Yes, down goes the Thresh. If you notice there, Vayne actually ran this way and tried to escape, and then used the Lantern to come back in to try to escape this way because she figured she wasn't going to escape that way. Unfortunately, she did get pulled by the Blitzcrank, so she did end up being back into the middle of 3 of them, and she died. Poor girl. Alright, so Blitzcrank and Nocturne are both going mid. Akali has to watch out here. She does end up getting hit by the Shroud, or I don't know what that's called. So she's actually going to go down. In comes the Ezreal. Lee Sin did go ahead and cook this, kick this Blitzcrank, not cook. Blitzcrank's probably not going to make it. No, he does go down to the Ezreal. Now Rise is having a bit of trouble here. He's having to be very careful because it's Ezreal and Lee Sin versus him. If you notice, the Misfortune just got the tower down there. Rise did go ahead and take down Lee Sin as Lee Sin was low. Just unloaded a combo on him, I think. Yep, down he goes. So, good shielding there, by the way, for the Lee Sin. Saving that Ezreal. I think he would have hurt a little. There we go, see? Boom. So yeah, it did end up being a 1-for-1 for that particular engagement, but with all the other deaths, it was definitely not worth it for the blue team. Miss Fortune's going to go ahead and go back. She was successfully able to take her tower with no problem. And she's got stuff to buy now. Ezreal's going to go ahead and go back up top. He's actually less than half, but he's got nobody to menace him. So he's able to push this with no problem. The only thing is, with Ezreal, he doesn't push all that great when he is AP as. It is actually hard to CS as AP as because you don't do nearly as much damage to the minions. That is one thing to keep in mind. If you are going to go AP as, it's going to be a lot harder to CS. AD as by this time is going to be able to take a minion down really fast. AP as, not so much. If you notice, he's barely doing any damage. A lot of his damage actually comes from the W there and the E. The E is actually able to hit them, but the W doesn't do any damage to him. He actually had to ulti there to kill them before they killed him. There is another kill for another tower kill for Miss Fortune. She was able to go ahead and push this and destroy this with the help of Jace. Looks like they said, we don't care about you, Akali, we're going to take this. It's a nice Thresh thing, so they know Thresh is there. That's something that I've read about, that apparently you could tell if Thresh is nearby just by the fact that the souls appear. The souls don't appear unless Thresh is within a certain distance. So, ooh, down goes the Lee Sin. Thresh is actually getting really low, but I think Nocturne's going to go down. But Miss Fortune does take down the Akali. There's the Blitzcrank pull on the Thresh, so the Thresh goes down as well. They're going in on the Ezreal. Ezreal does take down the Jace before he dies, so that ended up being a 4-for-2. Definitely a whole lot better for the blue team than the past battles have been. But yes, if you have a Thresh who's jungling against you, I mean, it doesn't happen much. But, you know, it's fairly close to his release. People still do things like that sometimes. So if you do have one against you, if you see these pop up, that means he's somewhere near, in theory, but he was dead. So maybe my sources lied to me because he was nowhere near this. So I don't even know. That just, maybe if he's in the game they appear, but I didn't notice when it was up here, so I don't know the range on that, honestly. Let's see, does that... Yeah, I don't think that shows the range of that, unfortunately. I would like to know the range, because from what I understand, it is not all the way across the map. That was a good attempted dragon steal there, but it did end up going to Nocturne. Lee Sin actually came down, so he is going to go ahead and take down that Rise. He's going to try to take down the Nocturne. Nocturne will probably escape here. Lee Sin's not doing nearly enough damage, and now Miss Fortune's coming to help Nocturne. So Lee Sin's taking off, trying to get away. Now he's actually going in on Miss Fortune, it looks like. He did Q, but he did miss his Q because she did dodge. Good dodge by her. Thresh is just kind of chilling in the jungle. How's it going? He's going to go ahead and give red to Lee Sin. It's always nice. And Vayne's going to go ahead and go back. This is a huge farm wave, so she's probably going to go ahead and compete with Akali on it. Akali's probably going to rip through it before Vayne gets here. She obviously won't kill it all, but she's going to do quite a bit to it. Yeah, she took a couple, so there's a little bit of competition there. Who could take it? Vayne's actually going in on the big one. And there we go. Okay. So that creep wave is gone. Now up here in mid, we've got Thresh and Ezreal just kind of farming it up here, pushing it back out. Probably going to attempt to do a little bit of damage there. Oh, there's a convergence on Lee Sin. Why was Lee Sin even there? Seriously. So Lee Sin was here. Looked like he's thinking about going in on double golems, but that doesn't not end up working. This ward does pick him up, but we saw him over here, so he turns back. So yeah, this ward sees him go back into the jungle. I'm not sure where he's going or why, but Nocturne is here. In comes the Blitzcrank. Now Lee Sin realizes he's in trouble, and he's feared, and in comes the Rise, and he just goes down really fast. That was not the best decision on his part. When you don't know where the enemy is, don't go back into the jungle. I think he was wanting to wait for Nocturne in case Nocturne came over here and tried to get the red, which is what Nocturne did. But unfortunately for him, Nocturne had lots of backup, which he would have known if he had wards, but honestly, at this point in the game, like, you're not going to have a lot of wards. There's the box from Thresh. He does end up going in on the Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune does barrier, but I think she's still going to go down. She does go down. Now it is Thresh versus Nocturne, and Thresh is actually doing pretty well. But in comes the rise, so Thresh is about to go down. Oh, he does take down the Nocturne first, though. And it looks like Jace actually killed Vayne. So let's go ahead and follow Vayne here. Okay, so that's where she did take down the tower there, as you notice. And looks like she's coming in here. She is picked up by this ward as well. This is where that little engagement happens. There's the pull there. There's the box. Ah, the box. So she is actually really low. She does end up taking down that Blitzcrank. But Jace came in this way and flashed across that wall. She does flash to get away, but he is faster than her. And he's got his long-range weapon, which is what he takes her down with. Actually, that was really well played by him, just blasting it right through there. And she was not expecting that, so she did not dodge it. So good job by the Jace there. It ended up being a 3 for 3 due to that little engagement there. So not bad altogether. As you can see here, the blue team is now actually only 3 kills behind. And they're actually ahead in gold now because of all the towers they've taken. Purple team has not taken but this tower. They've got 1 tower down, whereas the blue team has 4 towers down. That right there results in a really big gold difference. The fact that they got Dragon helps that as well. And then they've got the fact that they aren't that far behind in kills. All adds up to the fact that they are actually doing pretty nice for themselves. It looks like Blitzcrank just got Lee Sin, which is interesting. There's a kill for Ezreal on this tower. So that might end up, did not quite shift it, no. But it did definitely lessen the gap there. So I want to see what happened to Lee Sin, because somehow Blitzcrank was able to kill him. I'm guessing he got pulled into the tower, and then immediately the tower killed him. So we'll have to see. He is going on Jace, but he's going under the tower. There's the pull. He gets popped up by Blitz. Blitz is probably about to ulti and steal. He did ulti and steal. Honestly, that's probably the best idea because Lee Sin did pop over this wall to the ward. And without that ulti, Lee Sin actually might have escaped because Jace was over here. So Jace had already used his long-ranged attack, so he would not have been able to hit him. So he actually might have escaped had Blitz not ultied. So that was a nice kill secured, not a kill steal. Ooh, there's the pull on Thresh. Thresh is kind of panicking a little, but not overly much because he is pretty well fine. Thresh is actually pretty tanky after he gets a decent number of souls. Let's see, what is his armor at right now? His armor is actually at 124, which is pretty impressive considering Vayne's at 78. We've got Akali at 87. Let's see, is anybody on the blue team actually building armor? No. Nope, nobody's building armor there. Anybody over here? We've got health and a little bit of armor, so let's take a look at Blitzcrank. What does Blitzcrank have? He's got 77. So yeah, Thresh is definitely doing nice on armor. Again, that's just a little bit of armor. But still, Thresh is ahead on armor than everybody else in the game. And that's just passive from his passive. I mean, he didn't have to build it. He didn't have to do anything for it. Oh, wait, no. I lied. He does have Aegis the Legion, which is 20 armor right there. So, but even without that 20 armor, he's still at 105, which is pretty high compared to the rest of the members of this game. So, it's very nice as Thresh to be able to do that. I think I will enjoy that because I enjoy Taric in large part because of his nice armor. He's very tanky, and I really enjoy that. I can go right in the middle of a fight and still live, and that's pretty awesome. So as long as I get my souls, I should be pretty well. And as you can see here, he actually is doing pretty well. Lee Sin just jumped into this. He's going in. Now it looks like the rest of the purple team's coming in. Ezreal did take down the Blitzcrank. There's the Misfortune ult. There is Thresh trying to get away. He does flash over that wall. He is going to escape it, no problem. And now the rest of the blue team's actually getting wrapped up here. Yes, they do go down. He was able to take down the Ezreal before death, but there are still 2 members of the purple team up. So they're going to go ahead and push this. They're almost definitely going to get mid-tower. They're going to have to wait a little bit for minions because neither one of them can really take the tower. Lee Sin can for a little while, but not long enough. So actually right now they're just going to go ahead and take these minions. Looks like Lee Sin's probably just going to tank the minions at the moment. There's the Thresh shield, which actually does make it so he could tank that tower. And he's actually got quite a bit of lifesteal too, as we can tell there. So they are going to take down this tower. He could just let it go because the minions are there, but it is kind of nice to have the minions here. So they're going to go ahead and probably take down this tower. The blue team's probably going to try to stop them, and in comes the Blitzcrank to attempt to do so. And they are going to stop them. Lee Sin could have popped the shield there. Had he right-clicked on that lantern, he would have escaped with no problem at all. Ooh, but it's okay because they actually just baited the blue team into a nice engagement. Blitzcrank is having to run. Vayne's actually in there. Vayne's going to go down, though, to Nocturne. And Nocturne's trying to get away, I think. Oh, Nocturne would have got away had it not been for that Ezreal ulti, which just took down both it hit everybody in that engagement, and it ended up killing both Blitzcrank and Jace, I believe, and Nocturne went down to Lee Sin. So the blue team is down to Rise and Misfortune now, trying to defend this tower against the entire enemy team. Nope, I'm wrong. The entire enemy team minus Vayne. So Vayne is dead, but it's still 2 versus 4. So they're having quite a bit of trouble there. Misfortune ulti did just take down that Thresh, and Ezreal was able to take down Misfortune to pay her back for that, and he flashed over that wall to escape, no problem at all. It did end up using his actual flash, not his Ezreal flash, but honestly, that was well worth it. So they did ward that. The Blitzcrank tried to go ahead and pull him back in there, but he did end up not getting caught by that, and honestly, even if he had, he still had his E. So he probably would have just flashed back over the wall, unless Blitzcrank was very quick. So their blue team's going in on this. I think they just popped Shirelia's. No, it was just Blitzcrank. He just used his overdrive. So they're going in, trying to take down that Ezreal. Ezreal says, nope. But the blue team says, fine, we'll just go ahead and take this dragon. So they are going to go ahead and get the dragon. Looks like Blitzcrank actually just pulled the Lee Sin. Blue team did get the dragon. Now the Lee Sin is probably, yeah, the Lee Sin does go down. Ezreal tried to take down a couple with his abilities, but he was not able to do so. So the blue team's retreating now. They were able to get a kill and a dragon out of that, so they're coming back up in gold. This is a pretty back and forth game, honestly. It's pretty impressive. The blue team started out ahead. Now I believe they did. I might be misremembering that, actually. Just come to think of it, I think the purple team was ahead for most of it. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, guys. My memory is not perfect. Definitely. So Misfortune actually did end up shutting down the Ezreal there. He tried to escape, but he was slowed by her, and she was just able to burst him down quite quickly. There's a ping on Thresh. So the blue team knows that Thresh is here because this ward is picking him up, but nobody really around to kill him. So he's going to go ahead and fall back, no problem. Blue team is all up. Purple team is all up except for Ezreal. This has a lot of farm up here. It looks like Lee Sin is coming in for it. Yeah, that's a lot of money that Lee Sin's about to get. And a lot of experience, actually. He's probably going to ding from this. Let's see. No, not quite. Actually, I don't know. We'll have to see. But he is definitely getting a lot of money from that. And yes, he did end up getting a level as well. So that was nice. Thresh actually just jumped over that wall. I'm not sure why. I guess he's warding. Is he warding? He is picked up by that ward. And that Blitzcrank pull almost grabbed him, but it did end up missing. But Blitzcrank is coming to pop him up. He does flash over that wall, but Blitzcrank did come through. There's the pop-up. Jace is going in. There's the wall. So he is going to go ahead and try to escape. He does use his lantern to go ahead and give him some shield. Now the Ezreal ulti just took down quite a bit of the enemy team health. The Blitzcrank did go down. Ezreal is actually going to go down as well on the other team. There's the Misfortune ult doing a lot of damage too. So currently it is Blitzcrank for Lee Sin, and oh, down goes the rest of the purple team. So that is an ace. And now the blue team has turned this around. They are still behind in gold, but it was an ace. So as of right now, they could easily push up mid and go ahead and take a tower and most likely an inhib. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to go ahead and try to take this down so that they will get the first inhib. They are now tied for gold. And down goes this turret with absolutely no problem. They're going to get that inhibitor as well because nobody is coming up until Lee Sin in 5 seconds. So down goes the inhib. They're probably thinking about pushing all the way to the inner tower. Yes, it does look like they're going to go ahead and try to do that. Lee Sin is here to defend, but he's not able to do it alone. So down goes that tower. They are going to retreat before the rest of the team's able to kill them. Ezreal does flash out, going to go ahead and try to take down that Ryze. Ryze does not go down thanks to Jace's speed up, but he could, yeah, he does end up going down to Lee Sin. Lee Sin flashed there for it. He did end up kicking Jace, which interrupted Miss Fortune's walk as well, so she goes down, and now the blue team is the one on the run. Jace is going to escape due to the speed up, but honestly, now they're 3 versus 5, so they're going to have to play super defensive so they don't lose their inhibitor as well. It looks like Nocturne's actually getting pretty low there. Ezreal's trying to come in and take him. Does shoot his Q over there, didn't get him, and that spell shield just saved his life. Because had it not been for that spell shield, that ulti probably would have killed him. With an AP Ez, that ulti does a lot of damage, and he probably would have died. So very nice spell shield on his part. More souls for Thresh. He's at 142 armor now. It's pretty impressive. So they are going to go ahead and give up this tower. I can't say I blame them. He did pull the siege minion, so we could go ahead and attack that thing a little faster. And now the purple team, so it's fine. We're going to go run away now too. The blue team is all up. The purple team is all up. The purple team is actually going to be waiting in this bush. They're trying to bait the blue team into thinking that they're at Dragon, but the blue team isn't actually paying attention, and they're going after Akali at the moment. At least a couple of them are. There are 2 that are going to go ahead and defend this tower. I have a feeling this tower is going to go down anyway because there's too many here to defend. Yeah, it does end up going down. Now Blitz and Jace are falling back. Ezreal and Ryze are coming over to help again, but the rest of the purple team says, we're done. We're going to go for Baron. So they are going to Baron. No wards are here, so the blue team does not know. They're probably thinking that they're probably doing Baron, but they can't know unless they actually come up. So in comes the Nocturne. The purple team is retreating. They're taking a bit of damage from Baron, so they are going to have to retreat. Vayne did get feared by that Nocturne, so she did have to flash over that wall. There's the wall from Thresh. Now there's the Misfortune ulti doing quite a bit of damage to everybody. Ezreal actually almost died there. He's having to run away. Now Ryze is going in, trying to take down the rest of them. Lee Sin's trying to take down the Nocturne. He does take down the Nocturne, but he's going to go down to Ryze. Yes, he does go to Ryze, but he got a quadra kill before doing so. So there's another ace, this time for the purple team. So now the purple team's going to go ahead and try to end this, and they might actually be able to do it. The only problem is, if you notice, the blue team has pushed it all the way up here. So because of that, there's really no way for the purple team to end this unless they sat there tanking 2 towers at once. So they are going to go ahead and have to fall back because there's no way that their lane is going to push. So unfortunately, they don't end up being able to end it after that. But they definitely came out ahead in that little engagement. They did not get Baron. So Baron is still there, and the blue team is now coming up. Looks like the purple team currently has quite a little band of minions here coming up. Misfortune's going to go ahead and take that. The purple team is just trying to defend their base here, getting rid of these minions so that their minions can push back out. There's the Ezreal ulti, which oh, it actually took out a lot of minions there. The only one it didn't take out was the super minion. Why did Nocturne ult? Oh, that's why. Let's go ahead and take a look at that then. So we've got Akali. I went way too far. I do that a lot, don't I? I'm sorry about that. Alright, so here's the Akali. She is... she's cleaning this up. Okay. Yeah, we already saw that. Aced. Alright, so there we go. She's cleaning this up. There they are coming back up now. She is tanking the minions, as you notice, so that is keeping her health low, and I think that's in large part why Nocturne was able to go in on her and do quite as much damage as he did. So she's still going with the minions. Now the enemy can see her, and then this, I would guess, is where the Nocturne goes ahead and just ults in. Yes, he did ult in there. She does use her Shroud, but unfortunately for her, the black still gives her away, because as long as she has that on her, it tells him exactly where she is. He's not able to hurt her, but he knows she's there. So he knows which way she decides to run, so she ended up dying to that with no problem. And now it is a 4 versus 5. So the blue team is actually coming up here, warding around Baron. It looks like they're thinking about going ahead and taking it, as the purple team's not really able to do much. Vayne's trying to get out of here. She does end up getting slowed by Jace. The shield from that Thresh just saved her, though. Very good by him. And now the purple team... Oh, they they did end up flashing away from that Blitzcrank pull. So the blue team's actually going to go ahead and fight probably Baron. Misfortune, unfortunately, went in on it alone, which is not the best of idea. I believe that the damage is split up amongst the people that are there, so she took a lot of damage, and now she's pretty low. In comes the Thresh. He's going to try to do as much as he can. Baron went down fast, though. So now the blue team has Baron, and Misfortune almost got grabbed, but she did end up dodging it just perfectly. So it ended up grabbing Nocturne instead. And now the blue team is having a lot of trouble. Ezreal did take down the Misfortune, and the rest of the blue team's actually being taken down by those three. So Ezreal, Ryze almost got the Vayne here, but he did end up dying beforehand. Jace actually just got taken out by Lee Sin, so that is another ace. And this time, they actually have the minions to deal with it. So that ended up being a very unfortunate Baron. I think they got a little cocky there. It was a 4 versus 4, and they were low. That is one thing about Baron. If you go off and take him, you are going to be, most likely anyway, you are going to be low after you get done with it. So if the enemy team is there, they can ace you and do this. So there we go. Here's the end of that game. Very well played by the purple team. It was actually a pretty decent back and forth game. I love the... So, very nice little game there. Pretty enjoyable, even if it wasn't high elo. You know. And I got to see Thresh in action, which is kind of cool. So, alright, let's go and take a look at the items here. We have Lee Sin with a Trinity Force, tons of damage. Randuin's Omens, Blade of the Ruined King, Mercury's Treads with the Home Guard enchant, and a Wriggle's Lantern. Ezreal has a Doran's Ring, Chalice of Harmony, Sorcerer's Shoes, Home Guard. Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Lichbane, and a Rabadon's. Akali has a Rabadon's Lichbane as well as a Hextech Revolver and her Sorcerer's Shoes, no enchant. Thresh has a Boots of Speed, only level 1 boots, which is interesting. Warmog, so he was going full-on tanky there. Aegis of the Legion, Ruby Sightstone, and Philosopher's Stone. He actually did not have double gold per 5 items. Vayne has Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, BF Sword, Berserker's Greaves, and Doran's Blade. Nocturne on the blue team has Warmog's Armor, Static Shiv, Wriggle's Lantern, Hex Drinker, Berserker's Greaves, no enchant, and Cloth Armor. Jace has a Sight Ward. Yeah, only one. It does tell you the number of stacks now. Chain Vest, Negatron, Berserker's Greaves, Bloodthirster, and his own Triforce. Tons of damage. Ryze has Rod of Ages, Seraph's Embrace. That's a very nice thing. Normally you see Ryzes go Manamune and Manamune, which evolves into Muramana now because of the active from that instead of the shield. So it's actually surprising to see a Ryze that actually goes for Seraph's Embrace. I think had he gone for a Muramana, things might have turned out a little different because that is huge on Ryze, getting that extra damage. But Banshee's Veil, Glacial Shroud, Sorcerer's Shoes, and 2 Sight Wards. Blitzcrank has his Sightstone, Boots of Mobility, Shirelia's Reverie, and Aegis the Legion. And Vayne has an Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and Berserker's Greaves. And she was probably working on building her final item. So there we go. It was an awesome game. Let's go. Boom. Alright. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm sorry it's not a ranked game and it's not high elo, but it's really the best I could do under the circumstances. There is a thread for Riot to please make some sort of tab for features games. So who knows if they'll end up listening to it, but we can always hope, right? So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.